Hey there guys, how you doing? It's Ice9 and we're doing another Madden mobile video. We're going to do some gameplay tonight and we have a new player. You could see I'm a little bit more of a short stack than I was. What could possibly cost that much money? Well, it'll be in the title of the video. So I'm sure, that, kind of removes the suspense there. But went ahead and picked up the Tribute 99 Vick card and kind of made a decision on that. I had sold CJ2K, basically the money that I got from that, the coins that I had gotten from that sale, and a little bit that I've made off of draft and just some other things, selling some players that I don't use anymore on the team. I don't have as stacked a bench as I used to, although I still got a couple quarterbacks. I did get rid of Brady after this purchase, even though I really like that player, just trying to get some extra coins, and I did like Elway a little bit better if I end up selling the Vick card back. Interesting on these, and we'll go ahead, we'll start it out. We're going to do some gameplay here real quick, but kind of an interesting thing. A player I've really been looking for is Boss Randy Moss. Would have loved to make this addition to the team, and all that I see is a bunch of set-based Mosses, which are got a lot of red over Davis there. And I really like the way Davis has played. Having somebody a little bit taller would be good, but Davis has just been super solid for me so far. Catches a lot of balls in traffic, goes up and bails me out on big third and fourth downs, even with low counters against good defenses and things like that, low criticality counters. So Davis has been really super good for me, even though he doesn't have a boost. The one player I'd like to have over him is obviously Boss Randy Moss, but you hardly even see them listed in Auction House 4. I'm sure the other auction houses are like that too. So let's check out our three monster February to April speed boosters. Okay, so there's Chris Johnson, 99. And then we'll check if there's any Vicks out there. There are none, and none. They're all on teams. Nobody's selling them. As soon as EA does a throwback, that's a speed booster. By the way, throwbacks are obviously up to 96 overalls now, but as soon as they do one of those, some people will be offloading. This week, pretty good looking player, Vernon Davis, interesting boost here. And, you look at the front page stats, it's a pretty strong 96. I don't know what the route running is, catching traffic. Those are obviously going to be very important, but he's definitely faster, than, say, Olsen. Pretty fast, pretty strong. Blocking stats are perfectly acceptable. 92 catch, with Edelman and Gronk, that'll boost up, no problem. Once again, the things that you got to look for otherwise in this card is going to be catch and traffic, route running, things of that nature, special catch. There are some stats in there that are going to affect how good he is in terms of holding on to the football, carry. Those are all going to be important, but that's a pretty good card and a better boost, at least a jump boost. So, and 96 overall. So these looks like they're going to ride this out and ramp these up as time goes on, and they might be 98, 99s, and eventually, hopefully, get a speed booster. Having a couple before the year ended would be a-okay by me, and really, this is a good thing if they keep ramping this up because they're easier to do in some ways than flashbacks. As long as you get that darned helmet, which I haven't gotten one as of yet, even one stamina day, and one stamina. It was one stamina, the throwback event as part of the rewind on Sunday, and I played a lot of it trying to get a stupid helmet, and it's just a really hard pull. So I'd eventually, if it came down to it and a speed booster came out, I'd have to do some packs, I'm sure, because, after doing 5 stamina refills of the darn thing. That's what, 200 plays? And I didn't get, even enough snapshots to get a helmet. Oh, I got enough snapshots, but I just never got a helmet. So, but it's a little bit easier than the pack only flashbacks, which are really going to be difficult to do by this time of the year because not many people are pulling pro packs at this point. A lot of people are broke, not playing, no reason to do pro packs. What are you going to do it for? Positional heroes, So it's the economy's becoming pretty darn stale, except for, of course, the events that are going on, and people still trying to scramble around and do Fisher or what have you. A lot of the other stuff you really have to do on your own through packs, through the draft as this finishes up. I think the last day of the live events are tomorrow, so there are people still trying to do this. I got 10 collectibles. I was hoping to get enough to do another Garrett, but I just don't have what it takes to do all the stamina refills that are required. I'll probably end up putting these in that round 1 draft pick set. That's all I could really do with that. And, just kind of do it that way. So anyways, though, let's get into some gameplay with Vick. And it's been somewhat of an adjustment for me, I will say, because he is so fast and really fun card to play with. Easily the most fun card I've played with all year. Probably the most fun card I've played with since Gold Medal Master Barry Sanders from last year. Really is. It's just a fun card to play with. It's definitely quite a bit different than some of the other mobile quarterbacks that have been out at this point. I have not played with McNair, Boss McNair, which a lot of people say a lot of good things about, and the stats are really good on that card with an awareness boost. Or McNabb, who just doesn't have quite enough throw power, even the Boss version. But we're going to do here, we're going to play this guy who just bullies me. Nicole Aniston of X videos. He's in the DA chat. Good guy. Just keeps playing me, keeps building up his fans. And this is how Nicole plays. He's played me. And, he limps in. If this was poker, he limps into the hand every time. He usually doesn't score his first drive, and then he scores drive 2 and 3. So his team, 105 offense, 102 defense. And let's take a look at this. This is a gameplay team, and with Vick, wow, look at that, 94 strength, just boosters galore. Moss, he's got Newsom, still got Dion in there instead of Edelman, which in some ways is a little bit better for card for gameplay. He's got Boss Tomlinson. He does videos. I've only seen them in the DEA chat, but I know he does some YouTube as well. I think he only live streams. He's an amazing player, this guy. And I think he uses a stylus. And he is incredible with running backs. I mean, he just really runs it. So he's got Johnson at fullback. And then all these boosters, not necessarily the highest he could get overall. 2 cards that are kind of holding him back here are Brooks, which he's got the impact block boost, and then he's got one of his strength boosters is the Christmas flashback Ultimate Freeze Howard card here. This is a weird card. You don't see it much, right? And, right tackle really can't block anyways. Fisher, just gets out-quicked all the time. Even in my league drives today playing 100 defense, he got out-quicked. So stats don't matter for everything, especially on the offensive line. And then in his team, he's got this interesting assortment. He's got NTL here. He's got Marks here. Another strength booster, boosting up his offense. Will Fork, team hero. Well, with all these speed boosters, there's Garrett with 99 speed and 99 strength and 95 agility. No domination Von Miller on this team. He uses the Super Bowl version, even though the domination card boosts defense a little bit more. He's got Easter Crystal Legend Wilson. Just a cool card, boss. Cross here. He's got Urlacher, of course, because he's a huge booster. He's still got Rhodes for the same reason. He's got Hall at the dime, which a lot of these cards are really good gameplay cards. There's Barwin card, which gets me quite frequently on this team, is a pretty good card. So this is a cool team, and it's a gameplay type of team. And this guy, with all the speed boosters going on, it's nuts. So let's play him. Really good player, and he's definitely got a stacked team. So let's see how I can do with Vick here. And looks like the network is kind of slow. Sorry, guys. And he just bullies me. He said it in the DA chat, he made the joke for me to stop bullying him. It's really the other way around. Beats me. I think I beat him like once out of God knows how many times, 10 times. He's really good. Never changes his counters against me. He's just trying to pick up as many fans as he can. So, all right. And there we could see immediately, something about this Vick card. So I was rolling left to throw that cross in, and you see him, all the quarterbacks, when you throw on the run, something that happens is they do this little jump or they kind of strafe to the side really quickly. With Vick, it's a blur, and that's one thing. It may be the case. I didn't see it quite that way with the Mariota card when I was kind of testing that out. I didn't see that with other quarterbacks that I used. I didn't see that last year when I used GT Cam Newton, who also had speed in the upper 90s and really good acceleration. This Vick card, you got to play out of the pocket a little bit more because he's only 6 foot tall. But that little jump move, and you saw it right there, and you saw how accurate that football was. And it's something I have to get adjusted to, most definitely. The timing is definitely different because of that. All right, we're going to go to Edelman on that one, and Edelman is really trying to run back so I don't get a first down. Seemed to me on that play, it just is one of the really annoying things about the gameplay mechanics on this. Oops, he is unblocked. Nowhere really to go. I believe he has Y stick. Hard counter. That looks like a counter, and that's critical. Yeah, 28%. So pretty strong percentages really against the short pass. And should think about doing something else with 28%. But I'm going to try this on third down and hopefully not catch another counter. Rolling left. Getting time. Luckily dropped into the bread basket. Seems to me that on these higher difficulty levels that, they don't go up and get the ball a lot. He just let it drop in. Luckily, he caught it, and it wasn't a pick, which happens a lot of times in those circumstances. Strong IFB middle. We're going to catch Gurley in the flat. That was a counter. And we're going to try a run. We're going to try a pitch. And hopefully that DN doesn't jump the play. You can see Dorsett getting around that block, a little bit more speed, and it does make a difference. All right. And what have we not tried in that short passing tree? We're going to try trips. That's dangerous as hell. He does get it through, though, so throw accuracy 93, 93, 93, but functionally it is actually pretty good. All right, we're going to try double slants, outlet, and fight for it, Olsen. All right, first down, that is close enough. We're going to try curls. That's a good look. And we get a touchdown. That won't last. On this one, I'm just going to go for the field goal, even though he always goes for twos. And he's good enough running the football, even when it is countered. He will convert a lot of times. This is a really good player, guys, with a really good team and a really good league. And he's a good guy, even though he does single my ass out to get more fans. Sorry for the language there, but he really does. So let's play a couple more drives here. Drive 4 against Tim. And we got Maui on there too. We'll actually play him too. He's definitely one of the best players in this game. We actually played his alt in Mobile Goons and couldn't be a nicer guy. Those guys in general, very nice guys while they're kicking your rear end, but they're really, really nice guys. All right, so that's what he does. Long pass plays. And I do my normal thing, 24%. Fairly high. Y stick. Let me see if I ran it. I bet it's one of the plays that's hard countered at 24%. Motion cross converted, even though that was with Favre. I just got Vick last night and I'm just getting home now. So he's got Russell Wilson here and spot. So I put in hard counters against him in this situation. So he went to 2 of the big 3, and so what we're going to do, we're going to switch it back up and put softies back in on him and not give him the same look every time. That's something I do pretty frequently. When people use those typical plays, usually I'll throw something in, and then when they figure, okay, those are countered, they're going to try something else. They got a different game plan now. They're looking at soft counters again. So my percentages, only 1 drive taken, so pretty high percentages. Not enough to make me stop throwing it short unless he changes it, though, at 24%. So let's see how we do. We'll do 3 drives with Vick here. And with Vick in league to league last night, I did not do well. I only scored 8, but got a few drops, and then I threw just a boneheaded pick. But overall, I've liked the player, and really kind of importantly, too, I've had a lot of fun playing him. We're going to go to Dorsett on tight coverage there because it looked like Olsen was going to get hung up. We're going to go to curls flats, outlets open. And some good things about, everybody likes Favre and that 99 throw power. And I don't know if I'm going to show off a deep ball with Vick because that's not really my style unless I have to. But Vick has got very good deep ball, and there's a lot of arc on it if you just touch it. If you don't, take some of that arc off. His deep ball, if you just tap it, is got a lot of arc, which is a nice thing. It gives the defender less opportunity to make a play, and it's pretty accurate too. Definitely throws a nice football. And the mobility is fun. And into the lineman. Right into his head. Donk. And that's one thing, got to learn to roll around, extend plays, play a little bit different. Not throw to the wrong guy, which I've been doing. Ooh, I already ran flats. Davis came back and got that ball. That was a dangerous one. But he came back and got it for me. We're going to try run, bunch. And run blocking holds up. And I don't have my great kicker in there. I don't think I might, actually. I forgot if I switched him or not. That's one of the things about being old and subbing players. All right, what are we going to try here? Trips. Looks like a counter. I bet you that is. Yep, 24%. And really kind of want to try Y stick. really kind of do. Did I run double slants? Sorry, guys. It's late. I worked a full day. And no, I didn't try double slants. So we're going to try that. Looks like a counter. Nope. Touchdown. 94 strength. You can see I could really use some more strength boosters on this team. And I'm just going to take the field goal and put the pressure on him. Pressure's on him. Even if he scores on his fifth and final drive, then he's going to match, or he'll go try the conversion again, which, if he tried in the first time, more aggressive, he might try it again. And if he doesn't convert, then, I'm going to put the pressure on him. And take the safe way out. Either case, I'm going to have an opportunity to win in this game. So, Mr. Man, and let's see what he's got. 103 offense, 106 defense. Let's take a look at his squad. Amon Green. He's got some Packers in here, boy. Definitely does. Mr. Man doesn't have Jordy, though. He does have Brandon Brooks. He's got all the impact block in the world on this team. +8 impact block. And we'll actually check out his drives. You see that, and your boy, this guy likes to run it. And that strong 106 defense, which I can get with boosters, but let's see how he's doing it. So he's got Boss Cross in there. Dockett, who might be a little bit higher overall than Williams. DeMarcus Ware at the end card, that's more expensive. And then he's got LT, the set-based card, over there at that left outside linebacker position. That's a really good card. I'll think about picking that one up. And look at that, 99 zone coverage with his boost, 97 hit power. Yowzers. I don't recall playing the new Lawrence card yet, so we're going to try this out and see. This looks like a pretty good team. And then we're going to check out what he's doing. Spot. No, he's throwing it. So even with those boosters, HB option. Yeah, now he's running it. And just not catching enough softies, mixing up his plays fairly well. And I'm going to keep softies in against him and just try to match his 7. And we'll see how we do. So, Vick, the surprising thing about the card, that little hop to the side is just lightning quick. Totally changes the throwing lanes. I've seen plays already where the defense truly had no time to react, and the ball came from a totally different place than they expected with a bullet pass, and the bullet pass was on the money, considering it is, Hall of Fame, and everybody's nerfed a little bit, but card plays really well, and it is fun. A little hop to the side again. Did not get the challenge. Oh, darn, I don't care. Gronk. And continue with the short passing if we can. And you could see, boy, he just moved back away from the pressure and just really, you really got to be careful of that in a way, because there might end up being a defender in the way by the time he's done releasing the ball. When he's doing that, he just really backpedaled quickly on that and threw it from a different place than I thought he was. But it ended up working out. It's just one of the things you got to get adjusted to about the player. That looks counterish. Yeah, 18%. So that's definitely not enough. And Corey couldn't figure out yet. You want to try to run inside of the defender on a slant, Corey. Yeah, it's just one of those things. What are you going to do? I already ran curls flats once. I ran slants, I believe. Let's see what I've done so far here. Okie dokie. So 18%. Flip the spread FL drag. Uncountered look. Really good coverage. That's Taylor, I think. Or no, it wasn't. Who was that? Good coverage. He was a coming. We're going to try a little run. That's counter. That's critical. 100%. All right, so he's set up hard against the run. We're going to try smash. Ooh, that's counter. 100% against that. Interesting. All right, so 19%. Y stick might be open, but that's not going to necessarily get me the completion on this one. 3rd and 12, I'm going to try flare. Just got away from it, but not a good read at all. That was a jam job. 4th and 12. Smash countered. Interesting. And would really like a corner route. Hopefully this is not also a counter. That is not the receiver that I wanted. But a good pass to the receiver that I didn't want, just not enough to get the first down. That cross up was open, low percentages, so hopefully we get a stop the next time. And we got to play Maui. Mr. Maui, he's a great player. And he knows, that tells me that he knows what he's up against, trying that play first. Because that's so frequently countered in a hard counter unit. He remembers, it seems to me, what he's playing. This is definitely one of the best players in this game. And a really nice guy, too. I forget what he runs in terms of counters. Let's look at his team. Looks like he's got Elway, right? He's got Tomlinson set-based. He's got the new Landry card. And we're going to cover that in a second. Positional heroes for the week. EA trolling yet again with the choice of Landry, and I'll tell you why I think that it's a troll job and just another way of making positional heroes maybe not necessarily the most appealing player, although a great player like Maui can use anybody, and really so can anybody else. He's got the other one. He's got Ryan here. Look at all that green. Yeah, that's a good card. That's the better of the two cards, for sure. Really good card. And, you know, some similar players to what I have. He's got Beasley there. Beasley, that's usually a 3-4 setup. No, he's playing him on a San Francisco team. But Beasley shows up in film, even in a 4-3. More of a run stopper, but the coverages, I think, are good enough and in Hall of Fame. You know, he's got some of the physical stats that you need. So just a little bit better card of stopping the run than like a Collins, which is a good way to go, especially with this Fisher card boosting impact block. You know, like I said, I think you want more of a 3-4 type of setup. Now, I forget what my runs, so I'm about to find out. Corner blitz. Didn't get it over the line. Didn't want to roll away into the corner blitz, so that's why that happened. Or flip that spread FL drag. That is a counter. Got a completion, 25%. 25%. And 3rd and 6. I'll run trips. And that ends up being enough. No, it doesn't. EA spot screwed me yet again. That happens. Looked like he was over the line. That looks like a counter. Not a counter. All right, so get our conversion. That's counter. Nice block. Very nice block. Way to look lost out there. And I think he covers Y stick. I would assume at those percentages he does. Let's see. Run double slants. Outlet. And once again, we do not get the good spot. He wasn't really over the line that time. That other play, he was. That was first down. Darn it. This is the kind of situation where, I'm running a lot of plays. I'm going to try to go for one. That looks like a counter, though. And it was, but was still able to get the medium off to the outlet. 25%. Did I try curls flats yet? This is what happens when I get tired. Yeah, I did flats on the fourth down. I did double slants too. I already did trips. Did the spread FL drag. We're going to try flipping bunch flanker drive here. Oh, if I just moved up in the pocket a little bit, I had that completion. Darn it. Now we're going to go to flare. Not a counter look. Let's see what kind of coverage look I get, though. We're going to go up with it. Nice ball. Medium arc. And here I will try Y stick. I'll take 3 here if I have to. That's counter look. Still comes down with it on the 100%er. We're going to go curls. That's a counter look. And that was very dicey. You throw that early on that countered or not at all is what you do on that. Sometimes you could get away with it like I just did, but especially with the double coverage on the outside, you got to not give those guys a chance to react and treat it like a throwaway if he does not catch it. All right, so we match Maui with our 8 and, some nice little drives with the new Vick card. And you guys could kind of see in gameplay, big difference with this card. And I hadn't heard in the reviews, well, it's one of those things, guys. It's really kind of unfortunate because a card this good should have been more available. It's just, I know they made a lot of money because this was the first of the speed boosters and it was right at the height of the coin buying type of thing. And, they really did it, I think, to try to get some excess coins out of the game by making it a super rare pull. Even though I did pull the 96 and I pulled 2 93s, I believe, trying to get this card. Which was going for 99 million coins when it came out. I picked him up, by the way, for 21.25, which was just about all the coins I had. I could bid on him, but I could not do the buy it now at 21.9. That's how much it cost me. I've sold some other players since then to get up to a couple million, but I figured, you know what, it might be an investment opportunity. It may not. I really, what I hope is that EA comes out with a card that makes that Vick card obsolete that everybody can get and brings the price way down so people could get the Vick card or get the CJ2K or get the Boss Randy Moss card. I really wish that EA would bring out cards that do that. But, the thing is about the way they've done it with those 3 speed boosters is they've pretty much ended up on a lot of people, the same team, like Nicole. No offense to Johnny, but that's his name. But no offense to him, but it's just the way it's ended up being. They're usually people have 2 or 3 of the players, and so they're only available to certain people who are really good at working the auction house or whatnot. and they're not available to everybody else, which kind of stinks. Now, when other things come out like draft and like Easter, those are players that are more available to everybody. Draft, you've got 799 players that are available if you grind it out. Just buy packs or do the live event or just playing, one stamina, draft day, staying home from work or school and just playing the heck out of it and getting all the podiums you can. Those were available to everybody, but those are available to the people who already have those pack-only players too, and it make their teams even better. That's why you're seeing 101, 109s, 110. That's why, in my opinion, once again, I know I talk about it a lot, that EA made a mistake by doing 3 cards like that were speed boosters, because we could see with Nicole's team that his team plays extremely well with the speed. It's a gameplay team. It's a really cool, unique team too. And he's a cool guy, but that team plays really fast, and it definitely shows up on defense. It makes a huge difference. Guy never bothers to change his counters to what I'm doing or whatever. He's just like, okay, come on, bring it. And that team just makes a lot of plays against me. It really does. So, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about it, is that they're kind of behind the 8 ball, though, because those kind of speed boosters like the DRCs and multiple game changer speed boosters that are easily available, they're not available this year. There's basically Gurley, and then the Robinson card was just this super rare pull, and we know that's not random. So this is one of the things that's unbalanced the game this year. And once again, they've done it at a time when overall matters more than ever. So we got game plan, which is pay to play. We've got this thing, these pack-only players, which only certain people can get, and etc. So that is, EA would have to do a lot of work to balance the game, to have the number of set base players available to everybody that would end up being replacements for these boss pull only players. They would have to work hard at that, and it's getting later and later in the year to try to do something like that. For example, doing something like Gold Medal Master Barry from last year, doing something like that people could do if they just grind on it and get enough elite and gold players with a speed boost. It would be late to bring that out by this time, because by this time, I've got a bunch of, stuff in the auction house expired. I could maybe do a set like that, but I don't think a lot of other people could. And it's getting late. It's just getting late in the year for them to try to adjust that, so to speak. So I'll continue to talk about it, but I will say, at least for the time being, while I'm playing this year, this Vick card's fun, so glad I got to do a little bit of gameplay with them. I'm not going to sell them. I think I'm going to just have fun and try to get used to this card, but it is different playing with this card. And I've played with some mobile quarterbacks, and people who've watched my videos know that, I don't hit the scramble button. I'm going to have to learn to do that, I think, a little bit with this card. It would be a shame if I didn't, I think. But the mobility is definitely fun to play with. Have that kind of mobility and move out of the pocket and just, strafe that quickly as a blur and throw accurate footballs like that. It's an insane card. So I give the card a big, big thumbs up, but with the knowing also that, unfortunately, the majority of people are never going to be able to play with that card. But, I'll appreciate it for what it is, and I hope that they bring out a card that's even better, that's set-based, and, and the value of this card goes down. I'd be willing to lose that value if everybody else got access, because for me, I know that certain people, for example, were really upset about the EA sneaky maneuver with draft, which was having the top 10 cards announcing right away that the one pick was going to be a boosted player. And then after the fact, the night of the draft, then all of a sudden we got a set to, well, you didn't need that number one pick anyways. You didn't need to spend 3 million coins on that. It was in a way, it was a really sneaky thing to do, and it really got under some people's skin. And it didn't really get under my skin, even though I had bought a one pick for 3 million coins just to make sure I had one. It didn't really get under my skin that much because I would prefer it that people have access to the player. I don't think it was necessary to do it that way, but of course EA was trying to grab more cash. And that's what that was all about. That was premeditated, totally premeditated. It was not accidental that they did that. And then all of a sudden the night, okay, here, you got this set and you could get this guy anyways. You could get two of them if you want. Let's drive down the price of this player to 1 million coins. Sorry for people who got one picks. It was a typically EA way of doing things. Not straight up. That was not straight up at all. But like I said, it didn't upset me because a bunch of people in my league, if nothing else, they got a Garrett card. They worked hard, maybe used stamina refills, maybe bought it, had to buy a few packs. But a lot of us got this Garrett card. And that's something that I find very satisfying. It's cool for me to have this Vick card. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool thing. But I do wish it was more available to everybody else. And it's been one of the unfortunate things about the game this year is there's been more and more stuff like that. Stuff available to a few and, not to a lot of people. But that's it. I've talked about that stuff before, got to do a little bit in gameplay. And let's look at our positional heroes here for the week. More EA complaining. So a good card, not necessarily the most deserving, but, pretty good card here, Logan Ryan. And 96 speed for running backs, corners, and wide receiver seems to be the number. You see it over and over again lately. 96 for Dorsett, 96 plus 2 for CJ2K, 96 for Fournette, 96 for Julio Jones, team of the year, on and on. 96 for Edelman, 96 for Marcus Peters, 96 for Night Train Lane. 96 seems to be the number. Not quite 99. Of course, there was that Ross card with 99 speed. He's a small guy, so that kind of balances out a little bit, I think. But, 96 is the number. Need a Gurley. Need one of these pack-only speed boosters to get him up there to 98, 99, where you would want him to be. But other than that, though, really good stats. 94 PLR, 97 man coverage with 1 plus 2 man booster. He's right up there at 99. PLR is very good. Awareness is very high, which means he won't boost as much, but the other stats are pretty good on the front page. And on a corner, I think his catch stat is in the 80s. I don't think he's very physical. I don't think his block shed's really good or his hit power. He's definitely not like an NTL card, but it's a pretty good cover corner. Might be better than Peters. Better coverages. But the thing is, Peters is so proven by this point. That Peters card still shows up in film. I played a season game last night trying, out Vick and just having a lot of fun playing season with Vick, believe it or not. And mostly throwing the ball, which again is a shame that a pocket passer like me who likes to throw the football, has a card like that with that kind of mobility. It does help, in the pocket though. But anyways, though, I was playing the season game yesterday, and the AI, the other team, the computer team, threw a long ball to wide receiver 2, and I'm like, oh no, Peters is going to get that one. And sure enough, he got it. It's like, you just don't throw long on the Peters card. It's just one of those things. Do not throw long against the Marcus Peters card. It's just a dangerous card. And, so this might have a little bit better stats, but we know stats don't tell the whole story of these cards. They got little things. There's EA voodoo in there. Some cards just play better than others. And, I've heard good things about this card so far, and the stats certainly look really good. But the Peters card is inexpensive and a known quantity. This is not necessarily a huge upgrade, and it's got no boost. But that said, pretty darn good card. Jarvis Landry. And I actually watched that, best hands skills challenge where he did really well, beat out OBJ, in that event. Really? Is that it? Is that why he gets a positional hero? This is such a troll. And I'll tell you guys why. I've mentioned before that, a lot of the positional hero content, it's not like year one where, those were truly people who deserved positional hero, Dez, Julio Jones was the early wide receiver in year one. And, there were some just really overpowered linemen on both sides of the ball, and they were just really strong cards. They came with the strong content. In positional heroes, they did get a little bit better as time went on. The Bryant card was better. Dez Bryant was better than Julio Jones. The Bell card, I don't recall being a great card. Le'Veon Bell, he was the halfback. I don't recall that being a real strong card. So there was still this kind of thing that some of it was kind of second tier 99s or third tier 99s. Like there were better 99s that were already out. And then the Mobile Masters came out, which were some of them were really super overpowered. But a lot of those cards were good enough to really make legacy teams. And I think EA took a look at that and they said, no, we want people to spend more money. So we're going to make positional heroes second tier content. We saw that last year. There were some really good gameplay cards like the Anthony Barr card, which was week 1, 98 middle linebacker. The big deficiency was 87 play recognition. But all the physical stats were so good on the card that it was absolutely a pick machine. And, there were some other cards like that, had little deficiencies here and there. Some of them were really better than others. The linemen were definitely not as good as year one on both sides of the ball. The Mac card was really good for defensive end, but low awareness and play recognition. And then we see this year that there are just some cards where the Weddle card or the Upati card or, just some other cards that have some really serious, boy, that doesn't look like a 98 or a 99. Why is, important stat like that so weak? That these cards are clearly, they want you to replace them down the line. Designed obsolescence. Some of what EA is best at, so with this card here, the reason they picked Landry, even though he didn't have a great season, I think he was in the top 10 in a lot of stats, but definitely not, everybody wanted Mike Evans. It seemed like I wanted Mike Evans. And the reason why you wanted Mike Evans is because in mobile, height makes such a difference. A really good VJax card or a really good Moss or Julio Jones card. Those cards are going to play great. High speed, high jump, good catch in traffic is going to be a beast in this game because how important height is. So, they couldn't give it to an Evans, apparently. Hopefully we get a good Evans card, a GT like last year, which ended up making my legacy team. But here's a guy who's 5'11", so with 90 jump. So he's not going to be good as a jump ball receiver. Apparently he's a pretty good blocking wide receiver for what that's worth, which is for some people very little, but really on conversions and stuff, it's not a bad thing to have a good blocking wide receiver, but he's not a jump ball kind of guy. You know, you don't want to throw the long ball to this guy with Peters on him. I'll tell you that right now, or NTL, who's also taller than this guy and has higher jump. You don't want to do that, I don't think, with this card. You want to play those underneath routes, slants, FL drag, plays like that where, you could get him in some space and get some yards after the catch. I think that's what you want to do with this card. But you don't want to throw the long ball to him. And because EA knows people like that, no positional hero Mike Evans. No such thing this year. Evans deserved the card more. Julio Jones deserved the card more. God forbid Antonio Brown deserved the card more, even though we don't need another Antonio Brown card, But he deserved it a little bit more than Landry. But Landry got the pick, and it's just a troll job. So here's golden ticket Mike Evans from last year. 103 catch, 103 jump. Just so you guys know, the types of things that are coming out. What's really cool this year, though, is we're already seeing wide receivers. There's been this, you'll notice this batch of wide receivers with draft and some other things that have come out with really, really high carry. And, there is one reason why they did that. Because they know they've done a couple things. If you look at balancing the game, they've done a couple things to try to make it slightly easier to play offense at this point. Keeping in mind that players don't always play to their stats. But there's one reason that I could think of that's very obvious why there's these ridiculously high carry wide receivers that have come out now. Higher than GTs had last year. That guy right there. We need some completions. We don't need guys with 78 carry who are going to drop it with NTL smacking them in the back every time with 94 hit power and 99 strength. We need some guys who can hold onto the ball. And that's what cards like this Corey Davis card are all about. Highly recommend the card. You guys have gotten to see a bit of gameplay now. For the way I play, he's like perfect. Every once in a while, I got to go over the top to him when I get into a bad situation. But overall, I'm trying to, do my West Coast offense thing. And for that, he's perfect. And he's perfect for a lot of things. He's just a really, really good card. And a guy who could come up with it in a crowd or with somebody smacking him is definitely, I definitely appreciate this card. This is very good content for drafts. So that's definitely been a positive. Definitely been a positive. This card is fun. So I'm not selling it. I'll stay in the poorhouse the rest of the year if I have to. That card is just fun. And I'm going to play with that card. And, while I'm playing this year, I'm going to have fun. That's for sure. And keep working on the team here and there. But, that's basically it. So that's my take on the Landry card. A couple interesting choices for positional heroes and just kind of what they're doing all about. The other thing that they're doing too, and just in my opinion, some really good safeties coming out. This is a good card. Got me the other day in League to League. Made a play against the tight end, even though he's not the tallest guy. Still really good coverage. Made a really good play on an HB option. Kind of a desperation play. Uncountered. Got a pick on me. So this is a good card, but this is not up with all rookie Dawkins from last year. Again to the trophy room. Not up with this card, really. Actually, it's got some pretty good stats, but that, a bigger guy, they're kind of doing a lot of smaller safeties, and there's nobody with that kind of hit power out there. I think they're trying to make it a little bit easier to play offense, it seems to me. Or the lock card, which is, a lot of the same type of thing. 101 hit power, 99 zone coverage. And that was the set. That was not the boss of the GT lot. So they're kind of holding safeties back a little bit, and I think they're doing that to make it a little bit easier to play offense this year. One thing I wish they would do, it is annoying, and I know I'm not as good as some people who really do the right things to get their right tackle to hook up on a block, trying to get better about it, but, just have tackles that can block half the time. Play to their stats, find another way to put some difficulty into the game. There was somebody who posted something today that had some really stupid play where, his player scored but fumbled in the end zone. But he fumbled in the end zone. That should be a touchdown, by the way, because once you cross the goal line, it's a touchdown. But apparently fumbled it into the end zone, and somebody picked it up and ran it back for fumble 6, 100-something yards. And we're just joking, that's not even real football. And you could see those plays, you'll hear me in head-to-head where cross in, where, it's beyond 5 yards and somebody just nails the tight end, and rubs him off his route. And then, you just know you might as well not even bother throwing it because he won't recover. The tight end will be in such shock that he won't be able to catch the football. Or, same thing on Y stick too. That linebacker comes in there and puts a little rub on him. You might as well look another direction because he ain't catching the ball in that circumstance. Or some of the other things, obvious pass interference. Some of the other things about this game that are just kind of, different little ways that they build in difficulty. Another good one is if somebody gets too close to your quarterback while you're trying to throw the football, he'll just stand there stunned and he won't get rid of it. Favre is like the greatest for that, in my opinion, using Favre. Somebody gets too close and breathes on Favre in a way he doesn't like, you will not get the release. He will stand there and take the sack. It's just, I wish they had better ways of building difficulty in, but it's a mobile game. What are you going to do, right? So that's it, guys. That's a pretty long video. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of gameplay with Vick there, and thanks for watching.